Hey guys, and welcome to the Provokers podcast, where we talk about things you probably should too. Today I'm joined by,
Hey guys, it's Ethan, otherwise known as Flabs XE Gaming.
and I am your hilarious, awesome host. Picked a new adjective today. Jeebus Stevens, also known as John.
I could hear in your voice it was a real struggle to not just say handsome again. You had to really think of it.
I had to, keep them on their toes. If they hear it every single time, they're like, maybe this guy isn't as handsome as he says. And that would just be silly.
Right. So. Gotta never let them know your next move kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Let's see.
But how are you doing today?
Doing well, I guess. It's a Sunday, so, I go back to work tomorrow, which no one likes, but you know what, it's fine. I also really am not doing too much tomorrow, so in my work, so that'll be nice. But besides that, you guys are getting this in a couple weeks then from when we're recording this. So currently today is February 8th. You're probably getting this 2 Fridays from now, whatever that Friday that might be. But for me, recently we just recorded Stardew Valley with the boys, John and Axel. And I am now addicted. I now have a Stardew Valley addiction, and I might need to seek rehab. Even though the rehab probably won't work, but I should at least try it. So it just kind of has to. It's kind of, it's such a simple game. You'd think for such a simple game it wouldn't cause an addiction, but it has. So send help, please.
So that's usually how it goes. I remember when I first started playing it, I was just like, what if I just only played this game and didn't play any other games the rest of my life?
Right. Yeah, it's
obviously I have played other games, but
even though in the VOD, you'll see in the VOD over at Jeebus Stevens VODs and or the episodes over on YouTube for me is I was yearning for the murder, and that's unfortunately one of the things you can't do in the game. You can do a lot of things, but that's one of the things you can't do. You can't just walk up to someone and say, "Hey, you didn't lose the game, you lost your life," then shank them. That's not a thing you can do. So that while that's unfortunate, it still is a really good game. So
yeah.
You can't throw
feel like
people,
you can do that. That's a lot of fun. I do it whenever I don't like a character. But I feel like there's a lot of toxic people who are like, oh, if you only play Stardew Valley, you're not a real gamer. It's like, have you played Stardew Valley? It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, but I've heard that for Valorant and those style of games. Like Overwatch, Valorant, Marvel Rivals, those types of games. I've heard people say that. I've never heard about it for Stardew Valley though.
Yeah, it's usually the toxic side of the people who play those other games you mentioned. They'll be like, "No, this is the real gaming. Everything else is fake." It's like that. Games are incredibly varied. There's different things for different types of people, Right. So it's just silly.
It is quite silly.
But yes, I have not been playing too much Stardew Valley. We played it, but I've played it a lot.
Yeah, John has about 500 hours. It's basically his version of Faz. So
right. Yes, indeed. So I might play another playthrough after we play more of our stream farm, because it's just so fun.
It is. It's so fun. We're doing it again this is outdated for you guys, but we're doing it again this week. So
Indeed. But moving on from that, do you have a headline for us?
I do have a headline. It's a headline. I think I did this last episode too. I'm not exactly sure, but we're doing it again. The headline is about us today. And that's because it's been a while, folks. And I didn't really think I'd need to do another one of these. I thought, we'd leave it at 5.0. Because I wasn't thinking, I don't really need to do another one of these. But the tables have turned, and the turn of tables. Because it is time to unleash the podcast 6.0 initiative. In case you couldn't pick up what I was putting down there with the 5.0 thing. So, yeah, the reason I didn't think I'd have to do another one is because 5.0 pretty much initiated a lot of things. It changed we completely overhauled the website. We were on a couple more things, that I didn't know about. I think there's was that the one chapters? Maybe 4.0 was chapters. I forget exactly how that works. Either way, between 4.0 and 5.0, the podcast completely upgraded compared to what it was, right? And sometimes, like, I just thought, oh, that's probably all we need to do there. But, like I said, the Podcast 2.0 initiative is upon us, ladies and gents, and I will get into why right here, right now. So the first change is that we changed the website again. So we changed the website to accurately reflect the changes that resulted last year. Here's a short list of things that we've changed. So I'm going to go over these quickly. Changed a piece of the homepage that showcased the end of Noah's tenure with the podcast. So previously, the website never indicated that Noah was done with the podcast or that he was off the podcast, whatever. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the homepage, I'm pretty sure there's a section. There's a little note section that says, please note Noah's tenure of the podcast. Actually, let me pull this up while I'm talking about it. That's probably the smarter thing to do. But as me and John said before this episode even started, is that I will never deny that I'm an idiot. So, but yeah, on the homepage, so don't even click on the little, the hamburger bar. So right underneath the cast. So it's Ethan, the ringmaster, whatever, John, the Comedy Central, and then it said no, the swearing storm. It still kind of says that because he is still in the past episodes of the podcast. But right under that, it says, please note, Noah's tenure ended on episode 59 of season 2, the episode titled Tower Hour. The podcast now operates with Ethan and John and occasional guests. So that's there so new people that we get, that's mainly for new people because people that have been with the podcast for a while, they know of this already. They don't need to know of it again. This is mainly for new people checking us out. And that's kind of what the whole website is for anyway, because if you know about us, you've been here with us since season 1, you really don't need to go here. I guess you could if you wanted to check it out, but you don't really need it, right? This entire website is mainly for people that are new. So that's one of the changes, and we changed the Instagram link to lead to the new Instagram instead of the old one. So what that means is, before Noah left, he actually operated let me rephrase that. He barely operated the Instagram that we had. I think it was like the Provokers Official or something. I don't know. I forgot what it was called. But since Noah departed, I asked Instagram I worked with Instagram to take the account down. And so before, when you clicked the Instagram link on the website, it used to say, oh, webpage not found or something, whatever it would say. And I'm like, oh, right. I need to fix that. So that has been fixed. So now it links to our actual Instagram, the Provokers Podcast Official. So there you go. And then similarly, we changed the YouTube link to lead to our official YouTube page for the podcast instead of my personal channel. So because the episodes used to be on my personal channel, I used to link to that one, and because we promote it at the end of each episode. But now that YouTube link will link directly to the Provokers Podcast YouTube channel. So there you go. Updated the episodes tab where episode was previously shown. Since we swapped my YouTube channel for the podcast one, that change has now been posted in that section. So this doesn't make much sense if you hadn't been here. But if you go to the episodes, tab here in the little hamburger menu, if you scroll down past where it said, we're on Spotify, we're on music. It used to have a YouTube link here, where it said we're also on YouTube, and then it detailed, I'm over on my channel, blah, blah, blah. I've completely revamped that section, because obviously those videos don't exist. So it said we're also on YouTube, or on the YouTube channel, The Provokers Podcast. You can now watch and listen to all of our episodes, and then it goes on the spiel about sort of. Let's see. Then I said right after this, but be rest assured that every episode after We Have More Funny will be properly uploaded to the channel for all of your entertainment needs. So that's another little added section there. And then change Noah's fake quote to another fake quote on the episodes tab. So again, if you scrolled all the way down to the quotes, so these are just mainly here for comedy reasons. So you'll go to like a website and you'll see like customer quotes or whatever, be like, I love this product changed my life, it saved my dog, whatever, you know. And so there's previously all the quotes here from what was the three of us. So mine was, this podcast is the cream of the crop. It's one of the best podcasts on the market today. I feel weird anytime I don't listen to their latest episode. And then that's labeled as the Ringmaster, so you know that that's a joke, and then it's me saying that, right? And then John's is, trust me when I say that this podcast is the best podcast out there. All of their episodes are hilarious and fun to listen to. And as a bonus, one of the guys on that podcast is extremely handsome. And so that's labeled as the bald one. So again, you can see it's a joke. And then there used to be a Noah quote here. I forget honestly what it was. But there's a new quote here. Obviously, I didn't want to just leave it at 2 because 2 is a weird number. Nobody likes 2. So I did do another one. So whoever doesn't devote an entire hour of their day to the Provokers podcast is just not living their life correctly. I mean, come on. What else do you have to do? Go to work, quit your job, take care of the kids, put them up for adoption. And then the quote that's by is totally real guy named Jeff. We've referenced Jeff a couple times when he's destroying John in terms of points in these episodes. I mean, John, what are you even doing? You're not even really participating. Jeff's out here like winning every episode, so that's why it says totally real guy named Jeff there. So that was the change because, like I said, that used to be a no quote, and I obviously removed that. Added a section in the episodes tab to showcase all of our guest star episodes. Now, this technically hasn't been fully updated because the one with Chase last week for you guys? No, that was 2 weeks ago. For you guys, it was 2 weeks ago. So right above actually where I just talked about the quotes, it says guest episodes. Did you know we have episodes with special guest stars? Well, I suppose now you do. Either way, below are the episodes where we host with a special guest. These are in order, top to bottom, with how they appear. So the farther you go down the list, the more recent the episode is. This will be updated every time we have a new guest episode. So again, like I said, this is not 100% updated because I still got to get the Chase one in here. So we had a new challengers approaching, which featured Axel, obviously. And it says, as our first ever guest episode, we knew we had to bring in someone special. There's a spelling error I got to fix there. Axel is a great friend of John and mine, so we knew he'd be a perfect fit. Axel was Ethan's personal selection for a guest episode. In this episode, Axel joins us to talk about outdoor survival strategies. And so, as you can see just from that snippet, it tells you why we brought him, who he is, why we brought him on, and then what the episode was about. Same one with the situation, because Axel was technically a guest star. And then we had the Order Up, which featured John and Cameron, which were my coworkers at the time. And then I'll be here pretty soon. I'll be adding the Chase one, with what we did with him on there. And obviously, as it said before, the more guests we start to have, the more that will be in this section here. So keep the train rolling here. This one I'm really proud of. So added a new song tab to promote the songs on the website. So if you've been living under a rock, we have released 3 songs for the podcast. So if you head over to the song tab on the same menu bar, it'll take you to the songs. So did you know we have official songs published about us and the podcast? Below are all 3 songs that we have published to most streaming platforms. Go listen to them now. So you have next up John, of course. Learn all about John and what makes him a joy to be around and a great friend in his new song. Listen to it on most streaming platforms. Below is a link to the song on Spotify because Spotify is like one of the most popular ones. So then we got next up Ethan. Find out what makes Ethan tick in his new song. Listen to it on most streaming platforms and the same thing. And then you got the Provokers, the musical. We can see the brilliantly crafted John getting stabbed by his brother, who happens to also be the purple guy. Don't worry, the connection makes total sense. MatPat will help explain it to you. And it says, listen to our podcast, but as a musical. Hear all of our gimmicks, running jokes, and our overall message, all with a catchy musical theater tune. Listen to it on most streaming platforms, yada, yada, yada. So, head over there in case you need a quick link to it, or you want to check out the song, however you want to go about that. But that is now a new tab on the website. Now, there's also a few more minor changes that took place as well, but feel free to go to the website to check out all the new changes. So there's a couple new changes that I didn't list here, but that's the majority of them. So, with that out of the way, next section that was changed, added a location tag on the podcast. So this will show that the podcast is being produced in the state of New York. This is very niche and will only appear on certain platforms. Just a kind of bonus thing. It's just a smaller thing there, so not much to talk about. We added sound bites. Sound bites are little highlighted snippets from the podcast. You can use them to showcase, or we can use them to showcase the best moments of the episode, best joke, etc. These won't really show up anywhere for you guys, but the plan is to have these turn into YouTube Shorts over on the YouTube channel. So that's the plan there. So that's more just to let you know that that's probably going to happen. That's what their official term is, sound bites. So yeah, don't try to go to Spotify looking for those because they won't show up for you. And I can't believe I'm saying this again, but we are finally officially everywhere. We have yet again added our podcast to a bunch more stream platforms. Here's the added list. So let me get you the list again. Because I thought we were on everything, but I found some more stuff. So we are now on Cast-O-Matic, Castbox, Castro, don't even know what that is. Curiocaster, Fallon, which I have heard of, Overcast, Podcast Guru, which is a terrible name, but we're on that anyway. Podverse and True Fans, not to be confused with OnlyFans. You have to pay us money for that. So yes, and that obviously includes all the complete lists from the previous initiatives that we were on before. So yeah, we're hopefully on everything now. So I say that, and then 10 years down the line, we'll be like, guys, we're official on everything again, and it just keeps building. But that's because more podcast platforms keep coming out. So we'll try and keep up to date. Like I said, every time I do an initiative, I'll try and mention if we're on anything new. But if you guys use any of those extremely niche things, then we're on those now too. So, and then probably the biggest one outside of the website is we have updated our ad settings. So let me further explain to what that is. So for starters, you will no longer get 2 pre-roll ads and 2 post-roll ads. We have limited it to 1 as we feel it is way less bothersome for new listeners. This was actually feedback given to us by a few emails. And there's one email that I'm going to read today that actually talks about it. Not only that, but we have hopefully excluded ads from viewing on our podcast that have to do with the following. So sexual content / products, politics, illegal content. So no more, you're not going to get an ad about us burning down an orphanage because that's illegal. Government, I'm not sure how that differs from politics, but it does. Insurance, because I hate insurance and we are not a financial podcast. If you want to listen to an insurance ad, go somewhere else. Immigration, because that kind of goes into the same as government and politics. Non-standard content, which actually has its own subcategories, which include unmoderated user-generated content, which also often is referred as a UGC. Extreme graphics / explicit violence. Pornography, which I didn't realize that was even a possibility that could have show up. Hate content, and then these next two, I don't know exactly what they mean, but I got rid of them anyway. Under construction and incentivized. So again, don't know what those last two exactly mean, but they're in the same category as porn and extreme graphic and explicit violence. I'm like, you know what, just get rid of that just in case. We wanted to omit advertisements with these themes / parameters as they either are too profane or they don't align with our target audience, if I can speak. So again, though, hopefully those ads do no longer show up. So you'll still get ads for like puppy shelters or I'm trying to remember what ads I've gotten. Car rentals, you'll get stuff like that, of course, but you hopefully won't get anything as I just listed. And if you do, please let me know in an email, because then I can try and look into it. But hopefully those should be excluded from the podcast advertisement board there. And we only got 2 more things here. So the second to last thing is we changed the Provoca's exclusive Discord server to reflect the changes made last year, similar to the website. So we have removed Noah's Xbox Theater channel as well as any other messages that included him. So that entire thing has been removed. I don't think I replaced it with anything. I just removed it. So that's a small one. And then the next small one is I changed the Canine Pact here on Patreon to the Encore Pact. So the Canine Pact used to be obviously in reference to Noah, but because of this tenure of the podcast being severed, I obviously wanted to change that. And so now it is the Encore Pact. And so this change outlines, once again, the changes that took place last year. This change has also been reflected in the Patreon-only Discord server as well. So again, instead of having the Canine Pact role, you would have the Encore Pact role. So, yeah, that is the general consensus of the Podcast 6.0 initiative. So, there you go.
Very nice, very nice. A lot of interesting new additions there.
Yeah? Yeah, John didn't know about any of this, by the way, in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah, no, I was listening in,
Yep.
I think the changes that reflect how the podcast is today versus how it used to be is definitely beneficial, because people might be going, wait a minute, why isn't this accurate?
Wait a minute, who are you?
Yeah, so good choices for sure.
So is that your favorite change? I was going to ask what your favorite part of the initiative there was, John.
Probably the website changes. So I was looking at the website as you were talking. I'm like, this looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, it's not as big as the 5.0 initiative where we completely overhauled it. It looked like,
Mhm.
again, it's you got to be able to recognize your own work, right? We had made the website like trying to make it quickly, and so in doing so, I obviously had to cut some corners, and so the first one sucked, and then the second one was a complete overhaul. It changed everything, pretty much, and it looked a lot better. We had our own stuff on here. The font changed to make it more readable. The dark mode arrived so that people, when they open the website, their eyes didn't get singed, So,
Mhm.
yeah, and like I said, there's a couple more
Yeah.
minor changes on the website, but I forgot to mention them, so they can go look around, snoop around, see what you can find that's different. If you somehow memorized the last one, then hey, it's a spot the difference game, That's your homework.
Yep, Jimmy, you better do it. You've been slacking.
Right. And like Jeff said, the totally real guy named Jeff, if you don't listen to every episode, what are you even doing? Like, come on now.
I agree with everything Jeff said. For sure.
Well, I'd hope so. It's Jeff.
Right, yeah, everyone loves Jeff.
Exactly.
But moving on, you said you had a email to read for us?
I do. So as I said in the initiative, we got a couple emails across the time since we've included our ads. That kind of gave us some constructive feedback. Again, take this as constructive feedback compared to the totally not constructive feedback that was given to us previously, by who shall not be named. I forgot his name actually. But yeah, so this is actual constructive feedback. However, only one of them mentioned I could read on the podcast, so that's the one I'm pulling today. But just know that we got a couple more than just this. That's why I looked into it and made the change, and I totally agree. I think when we first introduced ads, I didn't realize that I could change how frequent they were. I could change the mid rolls. You only really get 2 mid rolls, but I didn't realize I could change the post roll and pre rolls. And so when I found that, and I looked into it when I read these emails, I'm like, oh, I can change those. And so I lumped it into the initiative because at that point, I was actually, before the ad thing there, that was all the 6.0 initiative was going to be. It was just the location tag, the website change, and so on. So yeah, I was glad I was able to find that. So speaking of the email we got here today, we got this one right here. I lost it. I've lost it. I've lost everything. There it is. Okay, so hey John and Ethan, hope you guys are staying warm. I only found your podcast recently, and then in parentheses it says about 4 weeks ago, and you guys are already dethroning my previous favorite podcast. I do have a slight suggestion though. As a new viewer, it's kind of bothersome that you guys have so many ads playing throughout the episodes. I don't know if it's random or not, but if you could reduce the amount of ads, that would be amazing. I haven't listened to many episodes, but my favorite one so far is Boardroom Takeover. I truly enjoyed hearing what changes you guys would make for certain companies, and I can confirm Microsoft sucks. Amen to that. And also Burger King. Don't forget Burger King. They're lumped in there too. Here's a question for the two of you. What's an episode idea that you thought would flop but ended up being a huge success? Or you could do vice versa, whichever is easier for you to answer. Thanks for everything you guys do. And that is by, I'm hoping I'm going to say it's Kylie, or Kylie? Kylie, because there's no A. Kylie. I'm hoping I'm saying your name correctly. So yeah, first of all, amazing email. I'm glad I was able to pull this and find it. So as a recent viewer, your constructive criticism is very much what's the word? It's very much needed because we obviously people that have been with us in season 1, they're probably fine with anything, but you guys are the ones that are truly we're trying to target here because we're trying to get as much trying to make provoke conversations with as much people as possible. That's kind of the whole point. So thank you very much for your ideas, and they have now, as you can see, been implemented. So there you go. As well as that, like I said, as well as everyone else that also had an email that talked about the ad stuff. But favorite episode being Boardroom Takeover. I did quite enjoy that episode as well. I might even consider putting a part 2 on the board. List of topic ideas here. It was pretty fun to give each other a company and say, and you're now the CEO, what would you change? Kind of thing. And it kind of honestly, it almost goes back to that one episode. We have the beef all the way back in season 1, where we just talked about companies we didn't like. It was kind of funny. It was a complaining episode or whatever, and this idea kind of stems from that because we're talking about companies that we think could do something better. We think maybe they're just Burger King and they're a lost cause and we should burn the whole thing to the ground. But regardless, it's just a thing where what we would change, right? And so I personally enjoyed that episode. I think John was the host of that one. It was a very enjoyable episode, so I'm glad you guys, Kaylee especially, you enjoyed it as well. Yeah, very, very good choice there. And then the question. I think, John, do you want to try and answer that one first? Because I'm trying to think of that one. So what's an episode idea that you thought would flop but ended up being a huge success, or vice versa?
I remember, I don't know if this is like that it was a huge success or whatnot, but there was an episode, I think it was maybe season 1, where we were talking about like different characters and their like what makes them an interesting character, why we like them. And I remember when like we first started like, oh, this is what we're gonna do today, like I didn't understand what you guys were talking about, like what the episode was gonna be about. And so I was like, I don't know if I really have anything to say to this one. Like, I don't think this is a good episode, guys. And you're like, no, you're stupid. We'll do it. I'm like,
I don't think
okay.
you said that.
No, those are exact words. So I was like, okay. But then once we got into it, I was like, this is a really interesting episode. So I would say that one. I don't remember the name of it, but
I'm trying to remember. I thought wasn't that one of the ones? Oh, I can't remember because I know it. The you only find out that that's the topic at the very end of the description. But I'm trying to remember because it's one of those episodes that like there's so much going on that the title doesn't totally reflect what the topic is. Kind of like
right.
The one where it's like no one insults John so many times that John became more bald. Like that one, the topic is not about us talking about John's baldness. It's just because the episode went in that direction, we chose to go that way. I'm trying to remember what that one was. My mind keeps ringing up Noah can't do his job, but I don't think he hosted it. No, that's Press the Button.
Right.
Oh, which one was it? Now I'm gonna be upset that I can't find it because I remember it was all psychoanalyzing fictional characters. I remember that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I can't find it, and I'm upset. Oh wait, I have a better place to find it. I have a list of topics we've done, so I know never to put one on the list again.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely after this.
Somebody out there, it's their favorite episode, and they're like, wow, can you not know? This is the name of the episode.
Right. Oh, wait, okay, it's right after my Q&A. Okay, that's up here. And I'm going to take it that you won that episode, so you hosted it. Wait, did you host that one? Oh, that's Noah one.
I feel like I don't think I hosted it. Because I feel like I wouldn't have picked a topic that I didn't understand, you know?
Yeah, well, I hope not. Where is my Q&A, damn it? Oh, here it is. All right, John loses points. That's the name of it. That's right.
Yeah.
In this episode, Noah makes John lose so many points that he reaches a new record while psychoanalyzing fictional characters. That's it.
Yeah. Because the way I approached, especially in that podcast, if I didn't have much to say or I thought it was a late episode where I didn't have anything interesting to add, I would just be like, I'm going to be really funny, insult Noah more. Like, I would lean into the humor of it more than the topic. So that's why I lost so many points.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think it's doing decently. I don't think it's bad. It's not one of our worst episodes. But I don't think it's one of our best. I'd have to check again. I'm trying to think, man. I sort of want to say the reset button, but I can't say that just because in my heart of cards I was hoping that was going to be a success, and it was. So I can't really say that because the question's asking, what did you think would be a flop? So you had to kind of already thought it was going to be a flop. I mean, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to go with the Noah and the Bees episode. And the reason I say that is because that was one of Noah's only few ideas that he actually came up with. A lot of his ideas he pulled from the list, which no shame. That's what the list is for. But that was one of his few ideas, and he wouldn't really tell us what it was. I kept trying to pry and be like, what is this? What are we doing here? And and even when we started doing the episode, I'm like, oh, I don't know about this one. I don't know how this is gonna go. But it actually ended up being a really good episode, and the in terms of the list, I think it's in the top 20 or something, which is pretty good considering we got 190 something episodes. And the reason I think it is that high is because I think this is the way me and John approach the situations. I remember specifically, Noah said, "How would you change the baby?" And the way he worded that, I'm like, "Oh, are you talking about changing the baby's diaper or changing the baby? Because all you got to do to change the baby is you got to trip in the hallway with said baby, then you got to catch both babies and then just secretly swap them." And that's obviously a paraphrase of what I actually said. But like everyone lost their crap when I said that, so did I, because it was hilarious. So then John said, when the kid's in the playground, you just gotta beat up everybody, and that. So just the way, and then of course the famous line that I think was even in the Provoker's quiz thing is, "How do you take the kid to preschool?" And I said, of course, well, you give the baby a taser, and so he can tase people. So I think we carried the episode for sure, but the topic itself, I was definitely worried about. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this one. But it ended up being a huge success is a strong word, but I'd say it's definitely a success.
Right. That one I know what you're talking about, because that was one of the topics that was maybe yoinked directly from Distractable, because there's an episode of Distractable called Bob and the Bees, which is kind of the same idea, where it was Bob was the kid. But I think it was interesting because out of all the ones that were kind of stolen from Distractable, that one we really made our own and kind of like did our own spin on it. So it was actually something relatively interesting and not just the exact same thing. But yeah, I can see why that would be one that's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that. Again, I'm very bad at keeping up with Distractable, so I didn't. I feel like now that you said that, Bob and the Bees, I feel like I do remember that, seeing that somewhere. But I think, I wonder if that was subconscious. I wonder if I knew it subconsciously, because in doing the episode, Noah tried to start out saying that he was the baby, and then I kind of tried to move away from that, saying that we're just talking about taking care of a general random kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll notice that me specifically, I don't think I ever referenced that Noah's the baby. I always keep saying, "Oh, you just give the baby a taser. You swap the baby." Like whatever I said. I never really specified that Noah's. I think the first time, the only time I really did it was when he's like, "What do you say to the baby the first time you see it?" And I'm like, "Oh God, it's hideous." So I think that was the only time I referenced it. But yeah, it's like John said, it's one of those episodes that I was definitely hesitant on when we first started it, because he was very adamant of doing it. I tried to convince him, like, hey, you need to either tell us or we gotta do something else here, because I don't know if I trust your judgment about the topic. But we let it slide, and it actually turned out to be a pretty decent episode. Obviously, Noah's not here anymore, but despite that, I think it's still a pretty good episode, especially with the way me and John handled the baby. So
yeah. I would agree, yeah.
But yeah, so thank you, Kylie. I keep trying to say Kylie. I used to know a Kylie. Or no, Kylie is correct. Kaylee is the one I don't want to say, because that's an A. Listen, I never claimed to be a smart person. And if you ever thought I did, then that was completely fictional or an imagination of your mind. But thank you so much, Kylie, for your email. It's very fun to answer these questions. So if you guys have any questions that are like this, then feel free to ask them. That's a really good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that regarding podcast or YouTube. I don't think I've ever been asked that question. So
yeah. I agree. It was a good question. It made us think, because I don't think there were many episodes that we were like, this is gonna be shitty. Like, this is gonna be a bad episode. But we do it anyway. Like,
well, maybe worst place to be naked one. That's kind of borderline. We're like, I don't know about this one. But
that's a bad point.
People liked it, so I can't really say anything, I guess, because that was when that first came out. That was in like the top 3, and I'm like, why? Why did we do this? Now, obviously, it's like in 50-something place, but it was like when it first came out, I'm like, why is this winning? Why is this beating everything else we've done? So,
moving right along, let's get into the topic.
Yes.
And today we're doing a game. well, it's sort of a game, but more of like I'll explain it in the Odyssey. I mean, it's called How Deep Will You Go? And if you've heard of that, then you know what's in store. But if you haven't heard of it, it's basically we have a set of cards, and then on the card there's a question that is meant to be like a deep philosophical quandary that we need to answer, and it's meant to get deep, and it would be interesting.
That's why it's called How Deep Will You Go? It's actually a very creative name.
Indeed. So do you want to just get on into it?
Well, yeah, we're already at 35 minutes, so I apologize to everyone for the extended intro there. But listen, there's you got to go over something. We got to treat Kaylee's email with praise here. You know, we're gonna just gloss it over. We're like, oh, well, screw your email. You know, we're just gonna not read that one. So, but yeah, let's dive right into it. See what's going on here.
Indeed. So I guess I will read mine first, I feel like.
Well, it's whatever the first question
is. Yes. Given the choice, which person, dead or alive, would you like to share dinner with? Okay. Pretty simple answer.
We gotta figure out how we're doing this. So, because the game can be played differently. So, are we giving each other a question, and then the only person given the question can answer it, or are we both answering each question?
I feel like we give the other person the question.
Okay, so if you're going first, then I should read this to you. So, John or Ray, if you go.
No, I mean like I read it, you answer is what basically.
Oh, that's how you wanted. That's what you meant by going first. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So, John, read it again. I've matrixed myself. I don't remember anything. So, do you want to just read it again?
Yes. Given the choice, which person, dead or alive, would you like to share dinner with?
I feel like my answer is just going to be really simple. I feel like because I've been asked this question before, and the answer for me is 100,000,000% Jesus. It's an actual it's just to me a very obvious answer to me. Would love to if we're sharing dinner. Love to. I mean, I'd probably unload a bunch of questions, but that's kind of par for the course, I guess. It'd be kind of like an interview, probably for him. But yeah, easy answer for sure. That's no question in my mind. No one else to me is that important that I'd be like, well, you know, you're important. Come to dinner with me.
Right.
Because
fair enough.
It's of course person dead or alive, so you could pick an alive person, I guess. But yeah, I don't. No one else to me is that important. So
right. I mean, I'm not gonna give my answers because we said only one person answers, but I could definitely see me being like, what would be like a fun person to be like hang out with? Way of saying the question, but I don't have an answer for that. So
have you seen the? I don't know if you've seen the what's it called? The short where it's the guy from what's his name? It's the guy that talks weird and he has like a shotgun and he murders people. I forgot exactly what movie it's from. I don't think it's from The Matrix. I don't think so. Unless I'm just really stupid. I mean, I haven't watched The Matrix in a while, so I forget. Either way, it's a guy from a movie, and he's like a bounty hunter or whatever. And he breaks into the room that Jesus and the disciples are eating in, and he just pulls out his shotgun, and just shoots Judas because he's the one that betrays Jesus. And Jesus is like, why'd you do that? And he goes over, revives him. He's like, but he's going to betray you. Shoots him again. He's like, can you stop doing that? I know he's going to betray me. You don't have to keep doing that. And then he revives him again. And then the guy's like, Pontius Pilate at 12 o'clock. And Jesus quickly looks over. He shoots Judas again. It's hilarious.
I have not seen that.
It's really funny. And because it was kind of funny before, but the Pontius Pilate 12 o'clock copy. It's just it was so funny. Yeah, if you have not seen that story, I don't know how you'd search to get to it, but if you ever come across it, please watch it because it's really funny.
Interesting.
All right, well, your question number 2 is kind of boring. I don't know. What's the one after this? I mean, I don't know. I kind of like 3 better than 2. 2 is, I mean, I'll ask you. Let's get it over then. Before making a phone call, do you rehearse what you're going to say?
It's not too bad at all. And yes, I freak out and have so much anxiety about phone calls. I have to be like, okay, I gotta say, like, this is a meme I've seen. Where they're like at a hotel, they're like, I'm from room 325, and I would please like a sandwich. And they call the person is like, I'm a sandwich. Like that's how I feel every time I have to call someone on the phone. And I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm gonna say. This is all I need to say. I don't need to make it complicated. And I just freak out.
You must have seen the memes a little while ago. I think they've kind of died off a little bit. Where it's like they're in the car at a drive-thru and they're like, "What do you want?" They're like, "Oh, I want a double cheeseburger or a double burger with extra cheese or something." Can I get 3 guys fisting with extra whatever the thing they say is? He's like, "Damn it!" It's really funny.
Yes, I have seen that one. That would sound really out of pocket if I didn't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do know what you're talking about. It's quite funny.
I took the chance.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's your question, unfortunately. So moving on, I guess.
And this one's lame too. Would you like to be famous? In what way?
Famous. I feel like is a stupid word. Actually, I guess it's. I don't know. Is it better than popular? I like to. The way I'm going to answer this is, I want the podcast to be famous. That's how I'm going to answer that. So yes, but in the form of the podcast. That's how I'm going to answer that. Or that's YouTube. I guess both work. I mean, if both happen, that'd be great. But podcast primarily.
It reminds me of there was for a long time. I haven't seen it so much recently, but I've changed my chat filter settings, so maybe that it just doesn't go through. But there was a bot that would come into the chat on my streams a lot for a long time that would be like, "Do you want to be famous? You could buy followers." I'm like, "I'm not. That's illegal. It's not illegal, but it's against COS, and also it wouldn't be real people. So who? It also
doesn't exist. Twitch doesn't let you do that."
But yeah, it's odd. So they would just be like, "Well, these are clearly aren't real people. You're banned," and then boom, you don't have a channel, and you're not famous anymore. So therefore, it's a stupid request. But anyway, that's what I thought about when I saw this question.
I gotcha. This one we kind of already answered actually, and once I say the question, we'll circle back to that episode. But what would you call a perfect day to you? And if you haven't seen the episode, I'm pretty sure it's just called The Perfect Day. Maybe? Yeah. That sounds right. I'm not sure. Either way, we've done a topic on this already, so if you just want to reiterate what you said in that one, then that's cool too, but...
Yeah, I mean, my choice might be like slightly different now because, time has passed since then, but I imagine it'd be mostly the same. And I'm not going to bother reiterating it. You guys can go watch that episode if you want to know.
There you go.
Okay. Man, these level 1 questions really do suck.
The first one was really good. I don't know why these ones suck after that.
Yeah. This question is, when did you last sing to someone else?
I typically just sing to myself. Again, if you want to take the answer, I guess I'll just say Jesus again. Because that's really not much I can say there, because I just sing to myself. I like singing, but I don't sing to anyone else. I don't serenade anyone, I'm not a popular singer or anything. I've composed music like 3 times, but outside of that, I'm not really in that field, so.
Yeah, I feel like it was like when I was in high school, singing choir. That would be my answer.
That's fair. This next one, bro. Okay. So I guess you're answering it for me, though. So, okay. The way it's worded. Do you think I like to read?
Well, I'm pretty sure you do, at least in some respect. Because you've talked about reading in the types of books you've read so far. So, I feel like, yeah, I would say yes.
Indeed, that would be the correct answer, because I have 4 books already down for this year, so working on number 5.
Nice. I'm working on number 4, and it's a long one. It's really boring.
Why are you reading it?
Well, I think I mentioned it before, but like it's my friend wants me to read it because it's connected to a series that he says is interesting, but the one that I'm on is just kind of slow.
Mm. Well, this next one's actually interesting, I think.
Yes. If you were able to live to 90 and would choose between having a mind or body of a 30-year-old, which would you choose? This is a weird way of phrasing that last part, but basically, your 30-year-old body or 30-year-old mind. Which would you choose?
But I'm actually 90.
Living to 90. But you're actually living to 90, yeah.
I feel like 30, though, is when your midlife crisis is kind of starting to happen. So I feel like I'm worried about picking the mind there. I mean, this one's hard just because I could say body, but then unfortunately people have health problems at 30. You're not omitted from having health problems. I really want to say mind just because I think the mind is pretty darn important, especially at that age. So I'm going to say mind for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because think of Stephen Hawking, he was brilliant, but unfortunately, the way everything happened, his body was not very helpful to him, unfortunately. But because his mind was still pretty darn active, he was doing pretty well. So I'm gonna choose the same thing.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay, now this one. Okay, now I feel like we had to go through a couple bad questions to get to some actually deep questions here. Because the next one for you is going to be interesting. So draw your favorite memory with me, and then I don't know what compare means. Compare it to what? So
to my least favorite memory, because like I feel like that would be.
No, I think it's just draw your favorite memory with me, and then we compare it to each other's. I see. That's what that means.
Let's see. I don't know, man. A lot of cool times on the podcast, probably.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we live so far away because I wish I could say an answer that was physically. I mean, I guess so. I'm going to answer twice. So, best memory physically, honestly, was the last time we saw each other was when we went to Cracker Barrel together with Axel and Logan. That was a fun time. We got to chat for a while. Got to eat some good, delicious grub. Hashtag not sponsored by Cracker Barrel, but hashtag please give me your money. And then we talked about that. We talked after that. Because school just kind of sucked. I mean, I don't know. I mean, high school, I guess, wasn't too bad. But I can't honestly remember too much of high school, if I'm being totally honest. And then favorite memory, not physically. It's probably a gaming memory or a podcast memory of some kind. I just don't know what specifically. But I want to hear what your answers are.
Yeah, I would agree about the time we went to Cracker Barrel. That was a lot of fun hanging out with you and Axel and Logan. There's a lot of times where I would just it was really short with Logan once because we were talking about, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but we were talking about I didn't have a ride, so I was trying to see okay, who can get me out of here? And we were talking to Logan, and he's like, oh well, I don't know the area that you're going to very well. And I was like, have you ever heard of a GPS? It's the way I said it. It's just very matter of fact. That was really funny. But yeah, that whole experience was a lot of fun. So I'd probably say that physically, then online probably something when we were playing a game or when we were on the podcast. So yeah, I can't.
I mean, can I just use the answer as the podcast itself? I don't know, because I feel like the podcast is too. I guess more precisely. Let's more precisely bring in season 2. Season 2 of the podcast, because that's when season 2 we really started to get our bearing. We really started to kind of understand. Here's what we're doing. We're already sort of trying to accomplish our mission. Let's continue to do so, and let's continue to move forward. At the time with Noah, and then now we overcome such a huge hurdle. I think just the entire season 2 and onward. I think that's going to be my answer. I guess I know it's a pretty big answer, but it's really hard to pick out a specific moment. Because there's so many good moments. That's the problem. So I'm just going to use the podcast season 2 as a fill in the blank kind of answer.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I guess some of these we do both kind of have to answer, but if it's otherwise, we can have the direct to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. So I got the next one, I think, because we both answered that one, but you read it. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
A secret hunch of
Pretty
how
much.
I will die?
Yep.
I hope not. Why would I know that?
Maybe you just like have a hunch, you know? Doesn't mean
I mean,
you're
I'm
right.
not part of like the mob or something. Like, I don't know what the what the answer they're looking for here.
Right.
I guess if I die of anything, it's probably it's gonna be either, hopefully, if I'm lucky, it's gonna be old age, or if it's not old age, it's probably gonna end up being a last minute judgment call that I did not make correctly. So in terms of, I don't know how I died specifically, but whatever the cause would be, it'd be a last minute decision that I'd made incorrectly.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be like, hopefully, old age. That would be probably like the nice one, right? But knowing me, knowing the freaking drivers in my area, freaking car accident. These guys, insane. Don't know how to drive around here or anywhere.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Unfortunately, it's unfortunately pretty common. So.
But yeah, the next one, right?
Yep. I can't see the next one, so I don't know if you have it. Oh wait. No, now I can see it. Okay, name 3 things you think we have in common. Well, this will be easy. This will be really easy. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, well, one, like, both hilarious. I mean, you have taught us hilarious people, right?
Tasing babies, burning down space shuttles. I mean, really, just kind of what's going on here.
Yeah, we enjoy burning down orphanages, or at least
I
making
feel
jokes
like you can't say that as an answer.
Dang. No. We for legal reasons, we do not burn down any orphanages.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we both are intelligent.
Most of the
time, you know. I've had my dumb moments. You certainly have had your dumb moments.
Hey, now wait a minute here.
And then I would say we enjoy helping others, you know, with the podcast.
That's very much true. I mean, I don't even think you needed to add the podcast in there. I think just helping others in general. Podcast is obviously the main for me, one of the main sources of it, but you know. All right, next one for me, please.
All right, what in our relationship are you most grateful for? I guess friendship, because
again, I feel like you didn't need to clarify that. I feel like it was kind of obvious, and then now that you've said that, I feel like it kind of starts drawing a line.
You're like, interesting.
No, so, is it just asking for one thing?
I guess, yeah.
Are you most good? Yeah, okay. My answer is gonna be the willingness to grow alongside me is kind of how I guess I'm gonna word that. And what I mean by that is, obviously the podcast is pretty self-explanatory, but also just like growing as a YouTuber, as an artist, being not the physical drawing art kind, growing in the gaming stuff that we're doing, that kind of thing. Because you've always been down to start the podcast, record whatever we're recording that week or whatever we're doing. So just the willingness to grow alongside, I think, is kind of the answer that I'll go with there.
It's a better one, yeah.
Let's see. Okay. I'm curious how you're going to take this. So, what do you think a suitable career that isn't my current one would be for me? Would be best for me? I guess I forgot the word best.
Yeah, I mean, definitely something that's creative, for sure. Because you have all these creative interests, like the podcast, the YouTube is a form of creativity. You're writing. But there's just so many things you can be creative with. So I can't think of a specific example. You know what I mean?
Well, you just have to pick one out of the options you probably have in your mind there.
Yeah. I would say, I could see you getting really into filmmaking.
Interesting answer. I definitely feel like if I had a decent enough camera, I feel like I totally would start doing that. I feel like that I feel like again, this is gonna just sound like a Markiplier. I've done YouTube. I'm still doing YouTube, of course. I'm not gonna stop that anytime soon. But that's more of like a that started as a passion project, and it's probably gonna stay as a passion project. The podcast started as a passion project and is now evolving into not only a passion project but also a business. So I've kind of done that, and then writing. Obviously, my writing has been all going on throughout the years in the sidelines here. But once that's done, that'll be published. I probably won't become like an author for like a solidified author, like people that are just pumping out books. I don't plan on doing that. I just kind of want to make like a couple books, maybe like 3 or 4 in a series or something. However, I want to do that. I really just have the first one almost done, then I have the idea for the second one written down, but I don't have any chapters written or anything of that yet. But yeah, I think filmmaking, honestly, outside of video game development, would probably be the next thing I try. Just to say I've done it. I would, of course, need the one problem is I would need not only the equipment, but I'd also need like actors and stuff that would be willing to do it.
Yeah.
So basically, I can't just say to John, "Hey, I need you to get stabbed by your brother for real this time." Can you sign this like death warrant just to make sure that we're not liable for your brother stabbing you? So yeah, but of course, I think that's a good answer though.
Yeah. So.
All right, this one. So I'm asking the question. So this one's to you, one basically. So what do you think is your most defining characteristic?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I would have an answer, but I'm curious what your answer is. At least from an outside perspective.
I feel like there's a lot of things that are like, if people were like, "Oh, who's that John character? Like, what's he all about?" There's like a handful of things you could say. I would say maybe my sense of humor, because not only do I just make jokes because I think they're funny, even if other people don't think they're funny. I'll be like, yeah, this is the most hilarious thing I've ever said in my life, and everyone else is just like staring at me. So there's a lot of that, but there's also like a way of coping with awkwardness. Like I use it for a lot of different things other than just because I find it funny.
Right. Yeah, that would be my answer, just from an outsider perspective, for sure. Because I feel like when you first, I don't know how you first meet people, but when you do, I'm sure you probably use humor as a gateway to kind of make it less awkward and stuff. So,
yeah,
we're skipping this wild card because it's stupid and I'm not doing it.
Tell me your life story. It's basically what
that's all it says, and I'm not doing it.
Moving past that one.
Ooh, this one's
if you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, what would it be?
That's a good one. The ability is an interesting word. I guess because they're not talking about superpowers. These are all like real. These are down to earth questions. They're not talking about superhero stuff. Mm. So my answer is going to be the ability to no longer procrastinate. I think that is just simple as that. I would love to be able to not be like, I just don't really feel like doing this right now. Like, I want that to stop. Mm-hmm. I want my brain to be like, hey, buddy, you only got like 100 and something Sunday or whatever. I saw the quote the other day. You only get like 1,000 Sundays or something. Your time's a ticking, buddy. Keep it going here. So I feel like that's going to be my answer. If I could have the ability to no longer procrastinate ever, I feel like all of the projects I'd be trying to get done would get done a lot faster. So.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Oh, this one's interesting, and I feel like we did talk about this in an episode. I forgot what episode that would have been. It would have been one of the season 2 serious topics. But what is your greatest accomplishment?
That's a good one. Like this is a tough one. That's why we have a full an episode on it. I would say probably finishing high school. I mean, like, if you asked me in like 6 months, I'd be like, oh, definitely getting my my degree. But that hasn't happened yet. So
Yeah. Also, the episode is called "I'm Proud of You." That's the accomplishment one. So I'm sure John has a more in-depth answer over there. So if you want to go listen to it, then go do so. I think Noah was there for that one. Yes, he was. So, all right, next one for me, please.
indeed, it's what do you like about yourself?
That's a good one. I think I like the fact that I'm so empathetic. And I say above the stars that I think empath is a stupid word, because it is. It makes you sound more important than you actually are. But it's the word that people constantly use to describe me. It's because I am able to put myself in any situation that someone's going through, and whatever pain they're feeling, it gets transferred to me pretty much immediately. I've literally sat down with someone who was bawling their eyes out, and I literally couldn't stop myself from doing it as well. It's just one of those things that they hadn't even told me anything yet. That's how I know it's true, because they didn't even say anything yet. I didn't know what they were going through yet, but it just their pain, just me sitting next to them, immediately transferred to me. So yeah, I think the reason I say I like that about myself is because it allows me to help people more than the average person could. In the sense of reaching to that extra layer of humanity that maybe some people can't get to just because they're not wired that way. So not to say everyone's a selfish piece of crap. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some people unfortunately just can't reach that extra level of humanity. Some therapists can't even do that. So it's just one of those things that I do really like that was an ability given to me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So your next question is, I guess you're answering for me. Do you think I was popular in high school? Speaking of high school.
I mean, I wouldn't say you were unpopular. But, like, popularity in high school is also, like, it can be very vain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess they're using it in the sense, like, did you talk with everyone? Did you like everyone? Like, that kind of thing. I don't think they're talking about, were you on the football team? Or, like, I don't think they're talking about that kind of popularity.
Yeah, I would say overall, I would say probably yeah, because I don't think there was that many people that I would see or talk to that would just like, man, that Ethan guy, what a loser. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that guy. Everyone, got along. You didn't have any beef with, or like major beef with too many people. So I would say yeah.
John finally tells me all these years later, he's like, yeah. So I was talking with a couple people, and they're like, man, this Ethan guy sucks. I hope he never becomes a podcaster. No one ever wants to listen to him. Tell me that all these years later.
Like, yeah, they were like saying that you're not funny, you are a jerk, like you're just stupid. Like they were saying all these mean things about you.
I see. So, but yeah, I mean, based on because this is a weird question to ask for someone else, I guess. For me, yeah. I mean, again, popular is a stupid word, I guess. Every word's stupid, That's my opinion. I was definitely like friendly with everyone, and the people were friendly with me. I often got told that I was very helpful and that I was very friendly and stuff. That's kind of why I was doing what I was doing. So yeah, I get popular in the kindness way. We'll say it that way. How about that? I feel like these are not spaced out correctly, because this is another one that I'm asking you, but the answer's to me. Do I look like I like spicy food? I feel like this is just going to be a simple question. Simple answer, I mean.
Do you look like you like spicy food?
I guess that part is weird. Do I look like I like spicy food?
I'd say no one really looks like they like spicy food.
Hey, John, you look like a masochist. That's what you look like to me.
You look like you hate yourself.
I feel like this is a strange wording of this question.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say no based off of that.
Okay, I say let's so the levels I think matter. Let's move all the way to level 4 for these next couple questions. Or is it only level 3? Oh no, it's only level 3. So let's go into level 3 territory. So start at the first level 3 one.
I think I got an ad.
You got an ad?
How far is that?
What was that?
How far is it level 3?
You just go down until it says level 3.
Well, I'm not seeing it.
John?
Another ad. I
Here,
hate
let me-
everything.
Here, let me. I come with a solution. Maybe solution. There you go.
Yeah. Crazy.
So now you can see.
I see.
So this
understand.
is the first level 3 one.
Yes. If you were going to be a close friend to me, what should I know?
Oh, well, that's
Amazing.
That's one if we're not friends already. It's right here. Do this one then.
Share an embarrassing moment from your recent life.
What if I don't wanna? What if I don't
Well,
wanna?
that's not how the game works.
What do you mean? I don't know. Like, just in general. I honestly, I take everything in stride mostly, so I don't know what would qualify as embarrassing.
Mm.
I mean, there's so many times. Okay, well, you know what? This might be a cop out answer, but I don't care. There's been so many times where I go to fist bump someone or shake their hand, and they do the opposite. They'll so I'll go for a fist bump. They'll want to shake, and then we both swap because we see each other that we're in the wrong thing, and then we swap again, and it's like, what are we doing here? Just you know what? We're just gonna elbow touch or something. We can't figure this out, and it's so awkward. So I'll go with that because that didn't happen to me today or anything, but it happens frequently. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
All right, this one's interesting. Am I like you expected me to be, and why or why not?
Well, I don't know. Like when I met you, I'd be like, "Oh, that's a guy." He's
You
in my
look
classes.
like you're really funny.
Like, you look funny, and I don't mean like you look like you have funny jokes. Like you look funny.
You look funny.
I would say no because I don't just expect people to be a certain way when I meet them.
Well, and I think that's true because I think the answer would just be when you first met me, you're probably just neutral, like everyone else is, because you don't have an opinion on anybody yet. So the answer would be no because the answer would be neutral. You didn't have any. Right. You didn't expect me to be anything because you didn't know me. So I feel like it's a strange question.
Yeah.
All right, well, the next one's for you, right here.
It's tell me something out of your comfort zone. It's kind of like the embarrassing one. I
guess. Trying to think what's out of my comfort zone. I mean, I get driving kind of is. I don't like driving too much. As a new driver, anyway, I'm sure once I get better, I'll be more fine with it. But I try to avoid driving whenever I can, especially at night. I mean, I'll drive in the day if I have to, but especially at night.
Yeah, nighttime driving, like, I wouldn't be too against it, but like, I have astigmatism, so the lights are just like, I can't see anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, fuck that.
I don't have astigmatism or anything, but I have very low vision. I have glasses, of course, that are required. But it's still one of those things that I can only see a sign so far away. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
And as John said before, have you heard of this thing called a GPS? So I just use that. Mostly. This one's okay. This one's okay. We're finally getting to some really touchy ones here. So when did you last cry and why?
The thing is, I don't really cry a lot. I don't mean to say that like I'm so much better. I don't have sadness because I do have sadness, but I don't like. It just doesn't happen all that much to me. I have to be like really overwhelmed for me to cry. So I could not tell you.
Well, you know what, John? You're bold. You're ugly. I'll make you cry right now. There you go. There's his answer, guys. I don't think either of us really have this one, do we?
Not really, you know. Yeah. Maybe like if you ask me when I was like a teenager, I'd be like, last week I saw a penny on the ground and I went to pick it up and then I slipped over it on my face and broke my nose.
Wait, John, no, John. John, you absolutely have an answer for this. It's when your brother stabbed you in your dream.
Yes. It was such a heartbreak, like such a betrayal. And I'm surprised I didn't mention it in the betrayal episode, but that's not.
I mean, probably because it wasn't real, but it's still a still a funny thing you could answer. But yeah, the question was describe your worst heartbreak. I wanted to teach you, but I personally am waiting for a very specific person. I don't know how John's going about it, but I'm assuming you didn't really have much there either. Not saying that John's just a sleazeball that's not getting any women or anything, but I'm just saying. I just from what I know of him, I haven't heard much of his love life, so I'm assuming that he hasn't been pursuing it as much.
Super boring. There's not much to say.
Right. Ooh. That one's a question. Okay, so
That's
I asked
me asking you. Or...
Yeah, because I asked you when did you last cry, so you're asking this one.
Yeah. So what do you think I need to let go of?
So that's to you. What do I think you need to let go of?
Yes.
My easy answer, and it's not an easy thing to do, so don't take this as in you need to do it. Just your what's it called? I feel like you need to let go of. How do I word this? You need to let go of being afraid of what people might think of you. I think that's what I'll say. Now, generally, I know you're not too bad with it online, but I'm talking about like in person. From just the little I know of your in-person stuff, it sounds like you're very worried that people might think you're weird, or people might think you're acting weird, or whatever. Especially like during those John and Ethan literally go to no, we can't spoil the next one, but John and Ethan literally go shopping, and that one, you kept mentioning you thought people might thinking you look weird or whatever you said. So I just thinking that's probably, I don't know how you worded it, probably the way I worded it was probably not accurate, but just
no, I get what you're saying. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fair response because, it is something I struggle with, so that's fair.
Isn't there a book called like the Let Them Theory or something? I feel like that's a book you should
There is. I bought a book that was similar to that. It was like how to like not overthink things or something like that.
There's also one called there's also one called Ephem. It doesn't just say it uses the actual word, but it says Ephem, and it basically says it's basically the same kind of concept.
Yeah, there's like a billion books like that that are like meant to help with that. So.
Yeah. Okay, now we're actually getting into some. Maybe we should have just started at level 3 if we wanted to do this topic. I didn't realize level 1 questions were going to be like, all right, just I guess for those
right, because I think it's like meant to get more and more in depth as you go through.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. So next one. So I'm reading this to you, right? Yes, because you asked me. Because I asked you this on. Wait, my brain's not braining. So no, I asked you, what do you think I need? Like Oh, right. So then, so it is me saying this. Okay. So how can I best be there for you during this chapter in your life?
Just kind of how you are now. I would say like it's not like you don't need to change much.
So you're saying you don't want me to reenact your brother stabbing in your dream, is what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I would appreciate you if you didn't reenact. I'm trying to avoid stuff like that happening to me, especially like the stabbing part. Not a huge fan of that.
Thanks for clarifying that you precisely just didn't want to get stabbed, but you're okay with me saying you didn't lose the game, you lost your life.
Yeah, you can say that to me all you want. I mean, I might be like, that's a little weird thing to say to me right now. If there's nothing to follow it up with.
That reminds me back to the joking part where I said, I'm going to make you cry right now. You start bawling your eyes. I'm like, psst. You didn't lose the game. You lost your life. Like, that's a wrong time to say it.
Indeed.
But, alright. So just stay on the course, basically, what you're saying there.
Yeah.
These are getting, alright.
What are you trying to prove to yourself? What are you trying to prove, man?
What are you trying to prove? I guess just that I can be the best person that I can be. I guess that's how I'll word it there. Again, it kind of goes back to the helping people bit. Kind of same idea there. So I guess I'm not. That's a hard question because I'm not really trying to prove it to myself necessarily. But I don't know. I guess that's probably the best answer I can really give you.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, how are we doing on time? Let's see. Let's do one last question for each of us here. Let's pick some good ones. Oh no! I just heard the first line of this one. If you were to die tonight with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you regret not telling me? So is that for you? Would say that to me, right? Or no, I would say that to you because you said, "What are you trying to prove to yourself?" So that's me saying it to you. So if I were to die tonight with no opportunity to communicate, so basically your older brother came over to my house and said you did lose a game, you lost your life. What would you regret not telling me?
Not much. Yeah, I'm pretty honest with people. I don't try to keep things with people. Don't have much to say to that one. You know?
You have nothing to say, John? Nothing?
Yeah, nothing to say. Oh, well, he died, you know?
I see how it is. That one's kind of boring. It's the same thing as this one, isn't it? Prisoner to your parents first time. Oh, it's slightly different. This is definitely more of a romantic question, so we're gonna skip that one. Let's do this one. The last one for me. Let's do this one. That's a good answer, or that's a good question.
What would your younger self not believe about your life today?
I don't think he'd believe pretty much anything that's going on. I don't think he'd believe that I have a podcast that's grown this big. We're reaching 80,000 people daily. That's insane. It's like I said, we're earning money off of it now, so it's become technically a business. So I have to label it as such for business, for tax reasons, not for personal reasons. To me, it's still a passion project. But yeah, he wouldn't believe that the podcast is going on. He probably wouldn't believe that we've had this friend group for as long as we have. I mean, obviously no one's been admitted, but that's just obviously that had to happen. But between you, Axel, and Logan, Logan's kind of MIA most of the time, but he's still with us here. I don't think he'd believe that I'd have a YouTube channel that has 1,800 videos or something on it. He definitely wouldn't believe that I work for a bank or something. I feel like he just wouldn't believe anything. If I were to go back in time and be like, hey, how's it going? We're creating a black hole right now, so I've got to make this quick. So you're going to make a podcast, and there's going to be a joke on that podcast that's so hilarious, you'll reference it literally any chance you get. And if you meet this guy, John, he's the one that's getting stabbed by his brother in his dream. Make sure when you first walk up to him, that's what you say to him. You say, you didn't lose the game, you lost your life. And then it'll just unlock everything.
Proceed to murder him.
And then you proceed to murder him. But yeah, I don't think he'd believe really anything. So I'll go with that. I don't think he'd believe anything.
Yeah. I'd be like, me and my younger self's like, oh, so you're from 2026. What's life like? I'm like, it's rough, buddy.
It's rough, buddy.
You won't believe this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess let's talk about me in my current life too. He wouldn't believe the whole COVID thing happened. He wouldn't believe the whole world shut down. He wouldn't believe that. He wouldn't be he might believe that if I'm like, hey, so the whole world shut down. So by the way, you also get to skip every test that was ever required of you. You get a free pass, buddy. And I'd be like, really? I'm like, yeah. So he might believe that part, but what's the deepest question they think is? What's the deepest they think? Oh, okay, I mean that goes back to that. What is the last game? What has this conversation taught you about yourself? Okay, I mean, yeah. I guess if you ask if you actually play the game correctly, and you ask every single question. Which, by the way, that's gonna take a while. You're talking multiple hours here. Then I'm sure you get more out of it. But it's just an interesting thought experiment / game, however you want to word it. So yeah, that's probably gonna do it for this episode, though.
It has, yes. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just pull up. Hold on. Right. Well, you win. You won the episode. Jeff, he got no points. He's such a loser, man. He didn't answer a single question. Come on, Jeff.
Poor.
I didn't mention being poor. You didn't even bring that into it.
Well, John, but he's poor.
That is accurate, but I don't know if it's the same.
That reminds me back to I don't know what he said, but no, threw a backhanded compliment at you or something. You're like, or backhanded insult at you, and you're like, that wasn't really necessary. The way you said it was hilarious. I think it was We were talking about like a popular YouTuber or something, and Noah was like, and he's more popular than at Jeebins Feebins on YouTube. Whatever, like, that wasn't really necessary. Just the way you said it.
Yeah, indeed. So, thank you guys so much for listening. We hope we provoked a conversation and made you laugh along the way. If you want to find me, you can find me over at Jeebins Feebins over on YouTube and on Twitch, as well as my VOD channel, Jeebins Feebins VODs on YouTube, where you can find basically everything I've streamed in the last like year or two or something like that. It's been steadily going for a while now, so there's a lot of content there for you guys to check out. And if it's not like super up to date, it will be soon. Some days I forget to upload, but I have the footage, so it's not like those are lost or anything. So if you don't see a stream that I did, don't panic. It's gonna be up there. And then you can find Ethan over at FlabsXZ Gaming over on YouTube and on Twitch. So he doesn't stream much these days, but following is free, and so there's really no reason not to. Like, even he might stream like 18 years from now. You don't know. If you want to find us over on Twitter or X, you can find us over at the Provokers Pod, and on Instagram at the Provokers Podcast Official. And then we also have the YouTube channel, which is just the YouTube version of the podcast. If you wanted to check that out, it's called the Provokers Podcast. And then you can check out our songs that we mentioned, with Next Up John and Next Up Ethan. Those are available on pretty much every music streaming site that you can find. And so I would definitely recommend those. Those are pretty good.
And the music too. I haven't put it on the on our scripting there, John, but the musical as well, and musical same thing. You can find it everywhere, and you can find it on YouTube Music as well. Because I encourage you guys to, if you have any song making ability, feel free to parody it, feel free to remix it, do whatever you want with it.
Indeed. And then you can check out the Patreon. We have multiple tiers ranging from $1 to $100, and each tier having different perks, and then the higher tier you buy, the more you get from it. Because we want to give you the best bang for your buck, as they say. And then when you become a member of the Patreon, you get access to an exclusive Patreon-only Discord server that we mentioned earlier in the episode, where we're there. You can talk to us, you can talk to other patrons, hang out with us there. And we also have the extended cut episodes, which you can find over on the story page of the Patreon. Basically, just short 30-minute episodes that didn't really make a full-length episode, or maybe eventually they did, but you can see the origins over there. So those are usually $3 for the first 5, and then after that they're $5, so you kind of get an idea what they're going to be like. And then if you enjoy it, you can obviously spend more. But with all that out of the way, we'll see you guys next time.